So Ted Flett here with Golden Skate, joined by Patrick Chan,
Yes.
multi-time Canadian national champion. This year, fingers crossed,
Yes.
it will be magic number 10.
10,
correct?
yes.
Is that exciting? Does that give you like an extra push into this Olympic season?
Absolutely. It's the stepping stone to the Olympics for me. Going for 10 and setting a record, I think it's an all-time Canadian record, would be amazing. It's, I mean, that's where it all started. That's where my career started, is at the national level. And Canada has brought me up and given me all the tools and the resources to become the skater that I am now. My first coach, Mr. Colson, was the one that made me skate the way I do, and he's Canadian. So I really want to do it for myself and also to be able to go into an Olympic event with the full support. Not that I never had it, but just full support and that momentum from a 10th Canadian title would be pretty nice and something to just have in my back pocket and know that I can always sit back and think about that and think of a decade of national championships that I've won. It would be very, very cool.
Yeah. So fans have had a bit of a sneak peek at your programs this year. Can you talk about your music choices and what guided you towards them?
Sure. So my show program is Jeff Buckley. Sorry, Dustin to Win by Kansas. I'm getting them mixed up. Talking about them so much. And the long program is Hallelujah by Jeff Buckley. And Dustin to Win was a piece that actually Kathy Johnson and David Wilson picked 2 years ago. We had set it aside for this Olympic year. And it's got, at first I didn't really know the meaning of the song. I didn't really have the idea as to the story or what it had, and it kind of evolved. And David said once, he gave me like a little idea of what he thought, and it kind of evolved into I interpreted it myself. And to me, how I see it is, no matter how successful or rich or we are and what kind of successes we've had or horrible things happen in our life, we always have to remember that we're all the same, and we're all very small in this greater universe. And you know, I know it's very deep and so on, but for me, it kind of makes me realize that, yeah, skating is important, the Olympics is important, but also it's important to realize that I'm doing this for myself, and no matter what happens, what kind of results I get this year, if I come second, first, or 10th, I'll still be who I am. I'll still have the people and friends that are there for me, and we still, it's morbid, but we do end up turning into dust. We all die. We all have a full circle, right? So it's hard to lose perspective like that when you're in a year like this, at an Olympic year, when there's so much going on, a lot of media coverage and so much energy and stress. You lose grasp of reality. So yeah, the Long doesn't have as much of a story. The Long is a beautiful piece by Jeff Buckley. We picked it because it's a piece composed by a Canadian, Leonard Cohen. So we thought it'd be a great homage to a great Canadian artist, with Prince dying last year and then Leonard Cohen following him. We just thought it would be a great piece to go into an Olympic Games in Korea with feeling really proud of being Canadian and my 10th title, hopefully.
Sure.
Yeah.
You seem much more, in terms of your choice of music and your approach to the season, much more enlightened than, say, 2010, 2014.
Sure.
Are you feeling that?
Yeah. I think that comes with experience and a little more perspective. And I think David also gets to know. I think he just has he's such an emotionally intuitive person. I think he understands where I am in my life and where I am in my career in skating. And he's picked two pieces, and we've picked two pieces, but he's put them on the table for me, knowing that those are going to be pieces that are going to be easier to skate because they're just from within me. They're pieces that are almost made for me. Or I was made for the pieces, I should say. Yeah. And yeah, they both have lyrics, so there was a bit of risk. Marina did worry a bit that they both sounded similar because they both had lyrics and they're a bit of like alternative rock kind of pieces. But the movement and the choreography just changed the perspective, and she now loves Dust in the Wind, and a piece that she didn't love at the beginning, and it really brings out all the nuances in the music in these pieces, because they really are, if you really listen, there's a lot in the pieces.
Last question. You, of course, have had a first-hand look at what the other top 5 men in the world are attempting, and the technical standards always raising.
Sure.
You're now going for 2 quads in the short program.
Yeah.
How does that feel? How are you feeling about that decision?
Yeah, I'm feeling confident with that decision, more so adding a second quad in the short, more so than adding a quad flip to the long program at the moment. There's just so much in the sport of figure skating now. There's so much to juggle, and for the way I skate and the way I want to skate at the Olympics, I don't want to compromise in anything else in order to add a more difficult quad. I don't want to sacrifice anything for that. So that being said, the best move forward for me was to add a quad south to the short program, up the value of the short to give me a little more breathing room for the long program. So that's the plan so far. And then we're keeping the 2 quad, 1 sow plan in the long program for the time being, because I also want to, with pieces like Hallelujah and Dust in the Wind, I really want to do them justice, and I think I wouldn't help the programs if I added another quad, especially if I was struggling with it. Unless it's like easy and it's flowing like a quad toe of mine, I don't think there's much benefit in that, because it'll sacrifice a lot for the type of skater that I am.
Excellent. Well, sounds very astute. Best of luck to you this season.
Thank you.
Look forward to catching up
Thanks.
with you along the way. Thanks, Patrick.
Appreciate it.